Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And Monkey.
And we just got out of scene I Feel Pretty, starring Amy Schumer.
Yeah!
Big pop culture event of the year.
Anyway.
So, folks, we're going to... I know that I Feel Pretty, starring Amy Schumer, is, the most hotly anticipated, hotly debated movie of the year. So we're going to give our very best to try and avoid spoilers in this conversation. We're basically just going to tell you guys how we felt about I Feel Pretty, starring Amy Schumer.
I don't know about you guys. I'm going to be bold with this statement. I think this is going to be the one that Amy Schumer's remembered for. I really do.
The font they used for the credits was a mistake. It was it was like so ill-fitting. I mean, you want to leave your audience on that? After what you've done?
All right, okay, can we cut the bit here?
Yeah.
Can we please just
obviously we're not talking about I Feel Pretty starring Amy Schumer.
Obviously.
Anymore, we're not.
The big purple man in the room. No, not Kilgrave. We're here to talk about the Avengers Infinity War, and we're here to give our very, very spoiler-free first reactions.
As spoiler-free as we can be.
Yep. Well, rest assured, we're not going to spoil anything. However, our reactions might give away... it's going to be tricky, folks. It's going to be tricky. We're not going to spoil any particular plot points, but I'm going to tell you... This is just going to be tricky. That's all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not out to spoil anything in this one. We're going to do our very best not to, but
yeah,
So, gentlemen, would you like to know what I thought of Avengers Infinity War?
Yeah, sure. What the heck?
Yeah. Do you mind if I just share a fun little tidbit first?
Betrayal! Betrayed me! This game sucks!
I rest my case.
Oh.
Would you like to hear that again? Because kind of interrupted me.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Betrayal! What? Betrayal! Betrayed me! This game sucks!
I feel betrayed.
Is that James Rolfe?
No, it's not James Spooney.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I feel betrayed.
Cue the producer song.
I literally cannot tell you guys why I feel betrayed by this movie without going into spoilers. I can't. It's impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah, the way this movie wraps up, like, I don't think from what you've told me, I don't know if it's for the same, if we're feeling it for the same reasons, but it did feel kind of middle fingery.
Yeah, a little bit.
It is going to be very interesting to see what the general reaction is.
So, folks, like I said, I want to make this clear. The whole movie doesn't suck, all right?
Yeah, it's well acted. It looks good.
There was a big sense of tension throughout the whole thing that was not involved in any of the other MCU movies. You legitimately felt that anyone could get off at any moment, and that was a thrill ride for me.
Mm.
But, spoiler, that's... Dragon, you see my conundrum? Do you see my conundrum here? I literally cannot talk about it.
I see your conundrum, but I mean, I'm just look. I think I can infer what you're reacting to. What's kind of made you in this whole betrayal headspace? But I guess you want me to get into my thoughts.
Yes.
I was very I'm on the flip side of the seesaw here, pal. I was gobsmacked by it in all the best ways. I thought it was very. Look, I'll say I do have a reservation, and I'll have a
conversation off air, Mister. Let me say that much.
All I'm going to say, I think I can meet you somewhat in the middle on one thing, and basically, I think I can say this without spoiling anything. I feel the best thing I can say about it, I think it reflects war in the MCU in all the right ways. And I really love how we kind of communicate that in the war of it all, and I really appreciated that. The other side, I do reserve one thing, and I think we can say this much, is that they've been going back and forth in the whole, like, is it a part one, is it a part two, that sort of thing. And
spoiler alert, folks, this is a part 1.
see, that's the thing, and that's
like it's a joke to call this anything but a part 1.
now.
And even then, it's still a question of how it stands up on its own. Like if you were to just watch this as its own movie.
See, that's what I'm saying. So I think it boils down to this: is that I can't blame that against, I can't hold that against the film. I got to hold that against like the marketing, like all the secrecy and just again the shell game of it all. And I would say reserve judgment until you see Avengers 4, whatever it may be. And I presume
I shouldn't have to reserve judgment until
while they wait for Robert Downey Jr. to make Avengers 4.
Anyway, I presume we're gonna get like a title for Avengers 4 like at the end of the week. It'd be my like after this weekend would be my assumption. But regardless, like within a week or two, we'd probably get that information. But regardless, assuming we don't. Well, I'll say this much. All right, I feel Cap was underused. Let me say that much.
I feel like most of the characters were underused.
Here's the reason why is that I feel we had split screen time between Cap and Iron Man in this film for a reason, which again we could get into, but let's not get into deeply here. And assume we don't bring we don't bring it home. We don't bring it home with the next installment, which again very much feels like it's a definite continuation. It's a bold movie. I gotta give it that. It's a bold movie, and there'll be an issue if they don't bring it home with that kind of the next part. And again, they want to have their cake and eat it too with something, but again, the marketing kind of prevents them from just being direct about it. Where we want to tell this story, but we're gonna need time to really. We want to tell a certain type of movie, and I think they achieved that movie. They told the movie they wanted to tell, and they want it to be like a film that kind of very much remains on its own, but again, we'll definitely have a sequel to it, but they can't call it like a part 2 like they want to. I think that's just marketing there, and they have to go with that line. Now, bear in mind, I don't have any clarification on that. I don't know that 100%, but that's what it feels like to me, because this feels like a complete. I'm saying the ending of this piece, it feels. Based on the ending and based on like stuff we know about, kind of like
talking about the ending at all, like talking about our reaction to the ending, talking about our thoughts on the ending. Like I would just avoid the ending entirely, Dragon. I feel like that's
which is a shame because the ending does kind of inform a good amount of how I feel.
Yeah, I agree. I'm right there with you, Monkey.
Well, okay, I think okay, fine. Just to kind of circle back, then, just again, I think the only flaw in this to me is like it's this, and there's some deception in the final cut, let's say. And all of that I don't think is a fault of the film, but it's battling expectations to a certain degree. And the marketing, while it did help the film to a great degree, at the same time it built up expectations, and I still feel it executed, but in a way that
absolutely not an Age of Ultron situation where it's like build up this like super badass, scary, imposing villain, and then at the end of the day he turns out to be a joke. Like, let's give credit where credit's due. Thanos.
Let me say this about Thanos. I think Thanos might possibly be the
best villain of the MCU
for me. And I gotta let it sink in. I really feel this out of the gate. I think Thanos might be kind of the Kingpin equivalent for the MCU on the big screen format. I really love Thanos in this movie. I really do.
Yeah, I feel like this is Thanos' movie at the expense of the rest of the ensemble cast in some
in a way, yeah.
Because Thanos absolutely feels like kind of a classic Marvel villain, and there are the complexities to him, and feels very classic Marvel. Kind of like I'm not saying he's like 100% Doctor Doom, but he's in that Doctor Doom mold of like what a perfect Marvel villain is. Like a guy with complex reasons who's not all bad, but at the same time he's doing horrible things. Yeah,
Thanos' motivation is very intriguing.
Yes.
Like you can understand why he's doing it.
Josh Brolin does an excellent job in this movie. That goes without saying.
I guess as far as MCU villains go, like I'm still a bit partial to Volume 2's villain, but nevertheless.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, I mean, he peters out a bit by the end of that one, but I liked that character, I guess.
All right, fair enough.
You know me, I'm a Volume 2 fan.
Oh, I love Volume 2. I'm just ego isn't one of the things that many people cite as like, top tier MC. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's good. It's anyways.
But that's another discussion, yeah.
Okay, so how do we feel about the groupings of
do you want my general thoughts or
No,
Yeah,
about
it's-
the characters and like
Oh,
the character interactions and stuff like that throughout the movie, because it went in a really interesting direction with that.
I think there's a great balance on the division of storylines and editing in this film. Again, taking not counting into like certain scenes that we cut, but just looking into like how we kind of like we keep like a I like how we intercut between our three storylines, and I like the editing in that regard. And I think we have great interactions and kind of deviations in stories in that way. I don't think anyone gets, to me, I don't think anyone gets shortchanged in the movie. In
Strongly disagree. Strongly disagree.
I'm saying
leaning towards disagree, but not entirely.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't have liked to see certain characters more, but I'm saying I think everyone got an equal amount of screen time. That's what I'm saying. I think now take that from what you will, but I'm just saying I think everyone got somewhat of an equal. I don't know. I still feel everyone kind of got. I don't think anyone just was like just there for like a cameo. I think they think.
There's one person in particular I can think of, but I don't want to give.
Well, I don't mean the supporting characters. I mean of our main guys.
Okay, fine. Of the main guys, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the main people, I can agree to that. Like, I guess especially with mixing the Guardians with the main Avengers, that was really well handled.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Surprised with how much each of the Guardians got focus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I was kind
Remind me to tell you a funny thing someone said about one of the Guardians during the credits afterwards.
Okay.
Go on.
No, I was just going to say. I was just going to say. I was kind of worried about the Guardians, kind of like not really being their own characters, and instead being like kind of like making up like their own entity. You know what I mean? Like them basically having the same personality. Like, yeah, they're a bunch of wisecracking jackasses, and that's their only character trait. But no, every Guardian got their moment to shine.
Yeah.
I like the growth on the Guardians. We've given them time to, because again, what we intimated at the end of Guardians Volume 2 is that with the teenage group post-credit scene, a few years have gone by, and we link up with that here, where at least 4 to 5 years have passed since the ending of Volume 2 to link up with the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is in this movie. And again, we see growth on them. With I don't want to say too much about that, but let's just say again, I think I like where we go with a lot of our Guardians characters.
I will say that a lot of the problems I have with this movie kind of boil down to the hype machine and the marketing. Like I feel like
I can't speak for the marketing, of course.
Oh yeah. I feel like there were certain things that were promised in this movie that we just didn't deliver on, honestly.
Yeah. Let me say two. Okay, I got two things really I got to add, I guess. So emotionally, this had me with kind of shock and awe the way that, kind of in a different way than like how Winter Soldier had me emotionally. And I was like,
so like a roller coaster ride. It was just like every scene you were just like, oh my God, don't kill off that character. Don't kill off this character.
I mean, there
was a moment to I was like, oh no, don't kill off that character.
I mean, I hadn't really been like that kind of like deep, that deeply invested in an MCU movie since the Winter Soldier was again part of my favorite of the MCU movies. I mean, it was a very engrossing experience. It was really really excellent viewing experience for that reason. And I will say this, I do like, and again, of course, without getting into any spoilers, let's just say I love how this gives great hope to a game plan. So again, a lot of the reservations seem to be well founded with like certain building blocks that are put into place. I'll say that much.
What do you mean great hope with a game plan?
Well, I mean, the events of the movie suggest that there's going to be a really, again, I'm kind of tiptoeing on spoilers here. It's just I think things are put into play that they're going to really pay off with Avengers 4, let's say. I think really, again, I think just certain, basically, if after this movie, you look at what the slate of things are for the MC, what we know is coming up within this year and next year. I think it's all coming.
If I may, again, it's going to be hard to tiptoe around that without spoiling the ending, but because we have the internet, we can look up what's going to be coming up and like just browse through Wikipedia, see some of the stuff coming up. Let's say I call it the Muppets effect, where some of the knowing certain real life things kind of got in the way of that ending for me. So that just adds on a whole nother layer of confusion, or of like it could affect the tension.
I'll agree to that without getting into what those real life things are.
Yeah, and if I may, like, just another real life thing is that one of the choices that the ending makes, one particular choice felt maybe I'm overreacting, but considering real life stuff involving people involved with that choice, it felt dickish.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm lost in all the ambiguity for a moment here. I think.
Right.
I mean, I remember the movie.
I don't think there's anything we can do about that, Dragon.
Yeah, let me just say that
we'll have this conversation off air.
All right, I'm just saying
that in the wake
today.
of certain real life things that have happened with the MCU, one of the choices in the ending felt dickish.
I think we'll just have to leave it at that.
All right, we'll leave it.
Yeah, I can tell you after if you like.
All right, folks. Well, honestly, I kind of feel like Dragon, Monkey, and I have a lot to talk about that you guys can't be privy to.
Yeah. You mind if I share this one kind of general, like a couple general things?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, well, in a way I see it, it's like, okay, first one, just a bit of a comparison thing. So, I swear I'm going somewhere with this. Do you guys know of Love Never Dies? Dragon, do you know of that?
I mean, I know of it. I'm gonna say that Dragon.
Yeah, you know me. Okay, so Love Never Dies is a musical that it's touring the country right now. It's been in London, Australia, wherever. It's a sequel to Phantom of the Opera. I saw it a couple nights ago, and it's another case of. And it's a case of, like, give credit where it's due. The cast is talented and it's a fine production, but the story isn't. And you'd think that, like, it's a case of what were you trying to accomplish with that ending, with Love Never Dies as well. And, I mean, granted, I kind of went into that show prepared to just laugh it off, but... knowing, like, Tiki, like, I love Phantom.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I find deep meaning in it, and Love Never Dies kind of goes against that, and kind of goes against the original show. And yet, MCU, I've only caught up with them this year. Like, I'd only seen some of them before, but then didn't catch up with them until this year. And yes, it was kind of fun going from small screen to big screen in this case. And the strange thing is, I feel a bit more pissed off, and yeah, I guess pissed off with this one, the one I'm less devoted to. Okay, a certain aspect of the MCU I am devoted to, so that could factor in a little, but still, that's weird. It's who would have saw that coming. Also, this is maybe I just don't really. Maybe I'm not super crazy about cliffhanger endings in feature films. Like this is. I'd say this is like. You take some of the general plot idea of Back to the Future 2.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
I mean, in the sense of, like, there was a sense I got about how the plot of Back to the Future.
Wait.
What?
I kind of feel like this is. I don't know. I want to be uber sensitive about the spoilers here, and I kind of feel like you're kind of.
Let me say that as a standalone film, Back to the Future 2 wrapped up things before. Okay, I'm getting sensitive there. I just say, like, I don't feel basically it was a satisfying ending.
Basically, what I think you're trying to say is that while Back to the Future 2 and this movie both have cliffhangers, Back to the Future 2 felt like a more complete, satisfying overall movie.
Sort of. Like, it accomplished, like, some of the stuff it accomplished before going into its cliffhanger.
I agree.
Yeah, whereas it's like, why, like, this the way this cliffhanger is executed is in a way that could leave people disappointed, whether for your reason, which is a little more cynical, or mine, which is a bit more less cynical. But it's like, why leave your audience disappointed? Like, I think the only exception I can think of for where I don't mind the cliffhanger endings has been the new trilogy for Star Wars, like with episode 7 and 8, where, like, maybe because I know those are a trilogy, so we still have, like, so I know, like, we have a 3-parter, here's whatever part of whatever part. And also, like, you know, as rough as The Last Jedi got, you could also compare this to Last Jedi in a way, I'd say.
Oh, I think a lot of people are actually going to be comparing this to Last Jedi.
Well,
yeah, I'm gonna prefer Last Jedi because there was some satisfaction with that ending. Like, there's some satisfaction, and a word that I could use, but I won't because it might get too spoilery.
Look, assuming I see your point there. I gotta tell you, so
And
far,
also, and also the way you know what? No, that might get a little too sensitive. So,
all right, guys, look, I feel like we've already kind of towed the line with talking about the ending here. I really feel like we need to wrap it up.
Yeah. So, yeah. Before this, I'd say Doctor Strange was my least favorite of the MCU. This is actually kind of getting there, because whereas, like, I mean, Doctor Strange was more a case of, I'm kind of not into it, and I didn't care for the main character in that. But whereas with this, it's like the question of what's worse: one you don't care about, or one that pisses you off.
Right.
I might go ahead and say this one kind of pissed me off. Like, not super pissed me off, but it's, you know, it's crossed the border into that territory. So, yeah, this, like, for that alone, like, I guess a lot of MCU movies I don't feel super strongly about, but this one, it's, yeah, where it's not satisfying. It doesn't leave on a satisfying note. Like, honestly, I think, like, once it went to the credits, my audience was loud, this big collective, no!
Aw.
Yeah, there were a bunch of collective no's throughout the ending.
This is just kind of going down a rabbit hole of just, like, we're literally all we're doing is talking about the ending. This is kind of getting, we need to wrap this up.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Just,
yeah.
Dragon, any final thoughts?
Yes, so let me put a button on here.
I mean, Dragon, don't get me wrong, Dragon, I'm glad you enjoyed the film.
Yeah. So, folks, I think at the end of the day, what it is here is that right now I'm hearing nothing but not in this conversation, but I mean in general, I'm hearing, like, all across the board. I'm hearing it's well received. I'm hearing good reviews so far. This is really kind of throwing me for a loop here. And I mean, the whole Last Jedi point that Monkey made. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if, like, again, like a week or so from now, people kind of process, and if it kind of goes down, if it becomes dicey like that. I mean, it's interesting. We'll see. Again, at the very least, I think we can agree that the presentation of it. Of it was investing, and it was big, and it kind of delivered on that promise. Just a question of how satisfying it ended.
And I guess we'll see if part 2 softens or harshens that middle finger, perceived middle finger.
Anyway, so the point is, you know, I think it delivered on the experience. It's a question of longevity's sake, if it's going to be a satisfying film experience. But again, at the end of the day, I enjoyed it a great deal, and you know, I'm sure a lot of other people did. So again, we'll see. We'll see where the MCU's going after this big monolithic event. Again, that's all we could say cryptically. We'll get more, you know, definitely more detail at some point.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be doing the spoiler cast soon, and that's oh man, we're gonna have to figure out some way to.
I know. I have like, when I came out of the movie, I was like, I was just gobsmacked. Like, again, my experience watching movies, like, I have no idea how to put this down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be on that one, but yeah.
All right.
Okay, folks, thanks for joining us. I know our opinions are rather controversial, at least Monkey and mine, but you know, that's filmmaking for you. Filmmaking is subjective, and as I said, I just want to stress that I don't think my opinions on this are on the movie itself so much as the hype machine for it. So it just did not deliver some of the things that I was wanting it to deliver. But at the same time, I feel like there's some really, really high highs in it. So by all means, I don't think anyone's going to
it does have its highlights.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed in the movie, but I do think
kind of am.
people are going to be polarized by the movie. All right.
So you're not actually disappointed?
Well, I don't know, Monkey. Thanks for undermining my point.
Okay, I'm sorry. Just being pedantic.
Just saying, like, I'm more polarized than disappointed. I'm just like, well, wasn't what I was expecting. I don't think it sucks, though.
Apropos to the clip that you played.
Okay, to be fair, I probably should have just cut out the "this game sucks" part.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea.
All right.
Say, Lovey, I hope they remember you.